Hello, Abnormal Investigations. Good to talk to y'all again. You're not going to believe what we got coming up on this encounter right here. Also, Saturday night we're going to be live, boots on the ground again. Should kick off at about 8:45 p.m. So that should be a pretty fun time. Hope to see a lot of you there. Our lives have been just doing really good. So Saturday we're going to go back out again. I think you all enjoyed the live action, been out and the visiting and everything. So we'll see what happens. And I have an encounter for you today, and I think you're really going to enjoy this one, so we'll go ahead and get into it. One night, my mom was standing in the driveway visiting with her sister. We live in the country next to the woods. My mom and her sister started to hear whistles in the woods. As they was visiting, something crawled up to the back of the vehicle and laid in the driveway. Remember, it was dark, and they thought it was one of the dogs, but they was also hearing a strange whistle. As they continued to chat, they heard the whistling grow louder and louder. Suddenly, they noticed a dark shape emerge from the shadows and crawl up to the back of the vehicle. At first, they thought it was one of the dogs again, but as it laid there motionless, they realized that something was odd. It was much bigger than the dog that they had. My mom and her sister exchanged a nervous glance, their hearts racing, and the whistling had stopped, and the eerie silence had fallen over the driveway, as if it was trying to be quiet to hear what they was visiting about. Suddenly, the thing that was behind the car began to move. Its massive body was rising up from the ground. My mom and her sister gasped in unison as they realized they were face to face with a towering creature. As the creature stood there, my mom and her sister were frozen in terror, unsure what to do next. Would they be able to make it back to the house safely, or would they become the creature's next victims? Mom ran for the house, and my aunt started her vehicle. My mom turned and ran as fast as she could toward the house, her heart racing with fear. She could hear the creature's heavy footsteps behind her, and she knew that she had to move fast. Meanwhile, my aunt quickly started the vehicle and put it in reverse, ready to make a quick escape. She looked back and saw the creature emerging from the darkness. Its eyes were fixed on my mom. As my mom reached the porch, she turned and saw the creature only feet away from her. She slammed the door shut behind her and locked it. Her hands were trembling with fear. My aunt, seeing that my mom was safe, put the vehicle in drive and sped away from the house, leaving the creature standing in the driveway. She didn't stop until she was almost back to the house, but she also realized that there had to be two, because the one she had watched had just chased my mom. But as she drove away, she saw another one standing in the driveway. When she finally stopped shaking, she called my mom to make sure she was okay. My mom was shooken up pretty bad. My mom said that the creature had tried to get in the house by turning the doorknobs, as if it was trying to get in. My aunt's eyes widened in horror as she realized how close my mom had come to danger. Without hesitation, my aunt told my mom to call the sheriff's office immediately. My mom grabbed the phone, dialed 911, her hands still shaking with fear. When the dispatcher answered, my mom tried to explain what had happened, but the words came out in a jumbled mess. The dispatcher, sensing her distress, assured her that someone would be there right away. Within minutes, a deputy arrived at our house, his lights flashing in the darkness. My mom recounted what had happened, and the deputy listened intensely. His expression was of seriousness. He searched the area but found no sign of the creature. However, he did find some strange footprints in the driveway, large and deep, as if something heavy had stood there. The deputy told my mom to stay inside and lock the doors, and he promised her that he would send someone by every hour to check on the house and to spotlight the rest of the night. Years went by, and my mom never had another encounter with Bigfoot. However, the experience left a lasting impression on her. She would often wonder why it had tried to get into her house and to get so close to her, and what it might have been thinking. And why was there more than one? Was it an ambush? As I grew older, I began to research Bigfoot and other mysterious creatures. I discovered that many people had similar encounters where these creatures would approach humans, sometimes even making contact. I realized that there was still so much we didn't know about the natural world, and that sometimes the things that scared us the most could also be the most fascinating. I'm grateful for my mom's encounter, as it sparked a curiosity in me that has lasted a lifetime. And who knows, it could be something that has caused me to go out to investigate and to become a cryptozoologist. I don't understand why these things do what they do, but I'm hoping to someday to try to understand it. Why sometimes they get close to us and never hurt us, other times they take us and we're found later, and sometimes, well, we're found not alive. I hope someday we'll find these answers. I enjoy your show, Mike, and I think you're on the right track. Be careful on those boots on the ground. Remember, you're playing Russian roulette. I think that sometimes they hurt us because of opportunity. That's been what I've always believed. I believe sometimes whenever we find people that have been taken alive, I believe it's because they didn't have any other choice but to let the searchers find the person alive, to end the search because they were getting too close to finding it. That's my opinion. And sometimes I think they try to get as close to people as they can, to practice on trying to get as close to people as they can, and it's probably juveniles practicing their sneaking techniques. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this one, and we look forward to seeing you all Saturday night, 8:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time, for another Boots on the Ground. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner.